Greetings, everyone. Good evening to you, wherever it is you're tuned in and you join me right here on this very platform, the Lady Belin Show, with your girl, Lady Belin, finding strength in your story. I hope that you've had a great week. It's always an absolute pleasure for us to connect or e-connect by this stream or by this platform. I do not take your time for granted. And by today's message, we'll understand why when when you're part of humanity, when you're trying to live life and figure out life, certain things are bound to happen. And it comes with the journeying through life. And we all need to be patient with each other as we allow ourselves the room to make mistakes, but most importantly, to learn from those mistakes so that when we have learned, we can do better, we can be better, and society benefit. This evening, I will be having a conversation along the subject of second chance. Sometimes people might think you don't deserve where it is you want to go. Sometimes people might think you don't deserve the position that you are applying for. Sometimes people might disqualify you because of your background, because of your mistakes. But he is proof that it's not always the people that make seem perfect necessarily get the role or the part. It's proof to you and I that life is not necessarily about perfection. That sometimes, if you believe in yourself enough that you have all that it takes to be able to do it, and you launch yourself out there, people are willing to support you and help you to become. And so we wish him the best. Usually whatever happens in the United States of America, it tends to ripple through other parts of the world. And so we're praying and wishing that it all goes well. This evening, my message of conversation for us is second chance. Second chance. And I believe you listening to me, one way or the other, you've had to give someone or a couple of people or maybe a lot of people second chance. Or it may be you needing that second chance. It may be you that have been at the receiving end of second chance. People showing you mercy. People allowing you back into their space to prove yourself. And I want us to have a conversation about it. It's become quite difficult nowadays to trust people enough to give them second chances. Nowadays, it's extremely hard for people to give others second chances because of how easily and how quickly we are ready to judge people. How easily and how quickly We pick up our phones and we sit behind gadgets and cameras and we come online to lambast people because they have made a mistake. Sometimes when people are on, have fallen flat on their face, how we trample on them, how we bash them, how we make them feel as if we are any better, or as if we were to find ourselves in that same position, we would do better. Second chance. I was having a conversation with, not so long ago with my friend, a mate, and I was asking why have we even termed it second chance? Second. Because in actuality, in the course or in our lifespan, it takes more than second chance. Some of us have had to have several chances that we've lost count. But we know it takes more than two. So I was asking him, is this second chance as in giving someone no more than two chances at the same error, the same mistake? Or what? Why second chance? Because we all need more than second chance. We all need far more than two attempts in our lifespan. But if some of us will be honest, we are where we are because of this very second chance. Because someone decided to take a second chance on us. And I remember when I was taking my practical driving test. Here in the UK, the maximum number of minor errors you're allowed to do is, I believe, 15 or 16. And then maybe one major error. Or if you make a major error, usually you have failed the test. And I remember when I did my driving test, I made the full number of minor errors. The full. That's Lady Belin for you. Going the extreme. Not only that, but I also did two major errors. And anyone that has done, has taken any kind of driving lessons in the UK specifically, during the course of your driving lesson, the test, the practical test, if at any given point the instructor takes over your steering wheel, you know what? Forget it. You have failed. Just think about going to book another test. But here is the case where he took over my steering wheel twice. And I remember thinking to myself, oh God, I have failed. Literally right at the junction of getting back into the driving center, he had to take over my steering to maneuver me and to help me to turn. And at that point, I thought to myself, oh boy, Lady Belin, like, seriously? Seriously? I thought to myself, boy, forget it, I've failed. That is twice. At this point, I didn't even know how many minor errors I've made. But the major one, twice at least, he had taken over my steering. So I had already concluded that I had failed. So as I drove up into the center, he asked me to park in a safe place. I parked. We sat in the car quiet for a few seconds, and then he asked me to drive off. And I drove off, and we went to park. Now the test was over. Then he asked me, what do you think happened at the junction? I explained. Okay. And then he asked me, how do you think you did? Hmm. You want the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. What? How can you ask me? How do I think I did? I know, I messed up. I know, I failed. So I told him, I don't think I did very well. Especially you had to take over my steering twice to help me maneuver. And then I remember this instructor said to me, you know what? I want to give you the benefit of a doubt. What does that mean? And then he said to me, I know you made the mistake. I had to assist you and all, but I believe you know what you're doing. And so I want to give you a second chance. I want to pass you. And I'm thinking to myself, what? What did he just say? Two major errors, maximum minor errors, and this man still decided to pass me. And then he explained to me the reason because when I was driving, whilst I was driving, I kept talking to myself with the different, routines and maneuvers and all of that stuff. So because I was talking to myself, I was having that conversation with myself and explaining to myself everything that I was supposed to be doing. He could see that I understood the process, even though in practice or in practical, I wasn't always getting it right. And so from that, he knew I know what I'm doing, even if I'm not always showing it the right way. And so because of that, he gave me the benefit of a doubt and he passed me. That was my first attempt and I passed. Okay, so I know this conversation has nothing to do with driving, but the reason why I passed is because he chose to give me a second chance. He could have easily failed me. But he chose to give me the second chance by passing me, knowing that I'll be okay on the road because I had shown a degree or a high degree or a high level of understanding of what it is I'm doing. That sometimes that our actions may not necessarily express our best. That sometimes what we say contradicts our actions. And then you're not sure whether this person means what they're doing or means what they're saying. How can you say one thing and do something else? So, second chance. What is second chance? And why is it necessary? Why do we need it? I believe, or my definition, my take on second chance is literally giving someone the opportunity to have a go again, another attempt at something that they may have failed at. Giving someone another opportunity to prove themselves. For maybe a mistake, a wrong, for maybe failing. Because I'm always, or I've always had the notion that most people, majority of people, actually set out to do, to do right, to do well. Any normal person, when they wake up and they go about their business, they don't do that because, at the back of their mind, I want to screw someone up, I want to mess up. No. Most people set out on their day or in the course of the day, hoping that their actions and inactions will be the best, will produce the best. And it may not usually turn out so. Sometimes after you've given out your best, it doesn't produce the best outcome. Sometimes your best may result in a huge mistake. What do you do when you have given your best and the outcome does not reflect that? As a people, as a society, we have become so judgmental. We've become so unforgiving that when people make mistakes, there's no room. There's no room. We don't give them any room to make amends. As if we don't expect people to make mistakes. As if we are supposed to be perfect. But you and I know that nobody, absolutely nobody, including you and I, are perfect. Life is about discovering. It's about experiences and continuous discovering. And when you're trying to discover something, you don't always get it right the first attempt. Sometimes it may take a couple more attempts before eventually you get it. But when you live in a society where people are not willing to give you the room to make mistakes, what do? When people expect you to some way, somehow be perfect, to get it at the first try, when you know that in most times it's impossible, what do? How many people, because of our reluctance to give others second chance because they messed up, so we let them go. And now you sit down and you look back and you realize, no, that wasn't the best decision. I may be wrong to believe that everyone is trying. We all are trying. Like they say, life is not for the faint-hearted. Everyone is trying because life can be very difficult. Life can be extremely difficult. And in that difficulty, you still have to find a way to maneuver through the meanders of life to get to where it is you're going. And yet, in all of that, society is expecting you to do that with such precision and perfection that there's no allowance for mistakes. And so when the mistakes happen, you get cut off. When mistakes happen, everyone has an opinion about it. We are gradually becoming a society that is so hard-hearted, so unforgiving, that it makes it almost difficult to want to give anything a go or a try. Why? Because of the fear of what if I don't meet expectation? What if I fail? What if my best is not good enough? You're scared of how society will crucify you. And therefore, in some cases, attempts are not even made. I want us. Let me know. You watching me. Have you had to give someone a second chance, or have someone had to give you a second chance? Share with me an experience or any moment where either you gave or someone had to give you second chance. What was the difference? What was the outcome? If we would be honest, as I said earlier on, you probably have gotten to where you've gotten to. Maybe in your career, in your relationship, you've been able to foster the kind of family or relationship because you were willing to forgive and give your partner a second chance, or because someone was willing to forgive you and give you a second chance. Or maybe you went to that interview, you didn't do the best, and yet for some way, somehow, they saw something about you and they were willing to take a risk on you and give you the second chance. And today you are such an asset to that company. Second chance. How many people have missed out on great opportunities? How many people have missed out on fostering great relationships because they were unwilling to give second chance? So, Lady Belin, what if that person don't deserve second chance? And it can be true. We have heard stories, real life incidences, especially in relationships, where partners have given second chances to their partners, and it ended up in death. It ended up in some kind of abuse. So it's very risky. Giving someone a second chance is very risky because the probability that the person will do right, will do better, can be slim, can be high. But usually we give second chances with the belief that this person had learned from their experience and therefore are willing to make amends. They are willing to make better decisions. They are willing to do right. They are willing to do better. But not in all cases. In some cases, giving someone a second chance has meant allowing the person to come into your space to continue the harm, the abuse they were putting someone through. And like I said, in some cases, it has resulted in death. I think maybe yesterday or so I was watching a movie, the evening, and the man was suffering from epilepsy. And so, as a result of that, the man is a young man, very handsome, very rich. But because he's epileptic, so most relationships he ends up with, they leave him. Once he has an episode, the women are out through the door. And he didn't understand why. And so, even his nurse ended up leaving him, because obviously he's trying to live a normal life, considering that he has a condition. And so the pressure to live a normal life meant he went quite extreme. And sometimes when he's out clubbing and drinking and all of that stuff, he will come home and he will have an episode. In one case, whilst he was driving, he's gone clubbing, drinking, and all that stuff. On his way back, driving home, he had an episode behind the wheel and crashed, almost lost his life. And one of the girlfriend wasn't willing to deal with that. Once he saw the episode one, that was it. No more second chance. No, I don't want to have anything to do with this. I don't need this kind of pressure, this kind of stress in my life. So she was out. Fast forward, years later, she meets, while she's out and about, she meets this guy with another lady. And she was wondering how the lady, like, she was wondering how the guy is looking so good and all that with the woman. And the guy was like, yeah, that's me, that's my life partner. She was willing to stay with me and blah, 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 blah. When there's genuine repentance, when someone genuinely is sorry for their wrong, is sorry for their mistake, is sorry for the hurt or the harm they've caused you, when someone genuinely has learned from their mistake, when someone genuinely wants another chance to do better, I believe we can give that person a second chance. When we understand that mistakes are unavoidable because it is part of our journey. And when we understand that in life, we would continuously deal with people, that no one can get through life without people. And if people make mistakes, then we can't avoid it. We can't avoid it. It takes people different times and different situations. Some people, it takes them less time to learn. Some people, it takes them a while to learn. Some people mature much quicker. Some people, it takes a while for them to mature. And when they haven't matured, sometimes even when you're trying to tell them, they don't even get it. Not necessarily that they are bad people, but they're not matured in their mind. They are not matured in certain things about life, so they don't get it. Especially, when you have people that are in their, maybe like their 20s, and it's a time or it's a season in our life where we want to be as radical as possible. We want to, we just want to be out there having fun, living our life, and in the course of that, wanting to have fun, wanting to live our life, there are certain decisions that we take that might not necessarily be the best, and we end up hurting people. How many parents have hurt their children? How many fathers have walked out of the life of their children when they needed them the most? And now that their children are adults, they are coming back to beg for a second chance. But the reason why I'm sharing, I'm having this conversation with us is as a society, we have to be a bit more empathetic towards each other. And I'm sure that one of the reasons why it's so difficult for us to give people second chances is because of the lack of empathy. It's the lack of empathy. Because when you and I understand that we can all make mistakes, we are human and we can all make mistakes, then when it happens, it's not such a shock in your system. Not that you're expecting it, but when it happens, it's not such a shock in your system. But what if, Lady Belin, I give someone second chance and they come and they mess up? Or how do I know when to give people or who to give second chance to? I would love to tell you, but in all sincerity, I don't have all the answers. But one thing I know for sure is usually the eye does not deceive. And also, your instincts do not lie. When someone has genuinely regretted their actions, you will know. Your instincts will bear witness. When a partner, when a parent, when a child, when a friend genuinely is remorseful for what they did, you will know when they are talking. You will know. And so I would say I don't have all the answers, but I would recommend to be discerning. Watch them. In some cases, it might not necessarily mean bringing the person back into your space, but forgiving them and watching them from a distance to see if indeed they are remorseful, to see if indeed they have learned from their mistake, to see if indeed they've repented and they are making the necessary steps and moves to making it right. So for example, a partner goes to cheat on you and they come back and say they are sorry. Maybe you because they got caught. They say they are sorry. No problem. Do you give them second chance? I don't know. But you're the one in the relationship. You're the one that know the person. What is your instinct telling you? When the person is saying they are remorseful, they are sorry, how genuine does it sound? And monitor what's their actions. What are their actions saying to you? Does their actions show that they are really sorry? Are they taking the necessary steps to make sure that they don't repeat? If it means cutting off certain friends, deleting certain contacts from their phone, blocking certain people from their, what are they doing to show that they deserve a second chance in your life or in your space? So it's not just about giving second chance, because anyone can say sorry. But how do I know that you're genuinely sorry? And usually your actions will tell. So we're not looking at, or we're not dealing with, pathological liar. We're not dealing with someone, there's a mistake. Because you are not planned it, unexpected. And then there's premeditated. It's like in the court of law. you have murder, and then you have premeditated, or you have manslaughter, and then you have premeditated murder. When the person knows that their actions are inflicting pain on you, when you have had a conversation, a dialogue with a person, you sat down, maybe, they've wronged you. You sat down, you've made them aware that, you know what, I don't appreciate your actions. What you did hurt me. What you said hurt me. And the person have said sorry. And then the person comes at it again. They do it again. Okay. Now, this second time around, you're not doing because you don't know that your actions hurt me. So, my question then is, why are you doing it? Because the first time you didn't know that your actions was causing pain to somebody else. But now the person has made you aware. So you know. And like they say, when you know better, you have to do better, right? So, what is making you repeat those actions? Because now it's no more a mistake. A mistake is, oh my God, I didn't know that. It happened unexpectedly. But you know. And so when you choose, so now it's a choice. It's a deliberate choice you're making. In such cases, it's not about second chance. No. In such situation, the person needs to go and grow up, mature, work on himself or herself. Because such people, when you allow them back into your space, they will keep on hurting you because they are not remorseful. They have not repented from their mistake. They have not come to terms with their actions and the consequence of their actions on other people. So they are not sorry. They are only saying sorry because it's cheaper or it's easier to say, but they are not sorry. And as a society, it's become very easy for us to say sorry. And yet we don't mean it. Because sorry has just become words. No, but sorry means I acknowledge my wrong. I also acknowledge the effect of my actions on you. And I choose, based on that, I choose to do things differently so that I'm not hurting you by my actions. That is sorry. Not I'm sorry and then you go out and you repeat the same thing. Not I'm sorry and allow you back into my life and then shortly after you run off. So, of course, second chance is necessary and we all need it. No one is perfect. There's no one, not a single person that will be able to go through life without one way or the other offending somebody. It will happen. It has happened, it's happening, or it will happen. But when it has happened and the person has acknowledged their mistake, their error, as it said, it's human to make mistake and it's divine to forgive. It's part of us. And so when someone genuinely is sorry for their action and they have learned from their experience and they are willing to do what it takes to make better choices and better decisions and to be better person or better versions of themselves, I believe that such person in such cases, they deserve our second chance. They deserve our second chance. And when we're given those second chances, sometimes we have cultivated the best version of that person and the best relationships with those people or person. And so a couple of points are put down in terms of why it's necessary to give second chances. And one of them is growth and learning. We are all learning every day as we go through life. It's learning opportunity for you and I. We are learning and we are growing. And because we are learning and we're growing, like you and I, throughout our education, we didn't always take the exams and pass at the first attempt. Sometimes we had to repeat a class or we had to resit a paper. But because we took the first test or exams and we failed, we went back, we revised, we did revision on those questions. We learned more, we put in more time, more effort, and learn so that the next time we sat the exams, we passed. And so giving some people second chance is allowing them to grow and to learn from their mistakes, so that allowing them the space and the time to reflect on their actions and to understand the consequences of their actions, so that they can, based on the lessons they've learned, they can make better choices and decisions in life. I believe another reason why second chance is necessary is so that, we can exercise a bit more empathy and compassion as a people and as society, because we all need it. There are times that people have reacted in certain ways, or people have done certain things because of what it is they're going through at the moment. We don't always wear what we're going through, or we don't always reflect what it is we are carrying, the weight of what we are carrying, and the weight of what it is we're going through. And in some cases, when this becomes too much, we don't know how to handle it emotionally. And it may mean that, unleashing it on the people that are around us, the people that we love the most. Because we don't have it all and we don't know it all. And so giving people second chance is showing that we can be a people of empathy and we can have compassion for each other, understanding that we are human, understanding that we need each other, we need support, we need help, understanding that we are learning, we're going through life and we are learning. And the reason why we are learning is because we don't know and because we want to know and be better people in society. And so why sometimes second chances are necessary. Now give us one more point as we close in. Redemption. I believe that everyone, we all deserve opportunity to make amends. We all. We all deserve an opportunity to, in some cases, to rewrite our wrong, to make peace, to demonstrate that we can change. There are people that keep repeating the same actions, unaware of the impact or the effect of their actions on others. And once they get to find out or they learn how their actions are inflicting pain on others, that is the lesson. They learned a lesson. and never to repeat those actions again. And so this evening is just simple that in life we will come to a point where we will need people to give us second chance because we erred, because we made a mistake, because we got it wrong. And in the same way that we need people to give us second chance is the same way we need to give others second chance, because they also tried. They made a mistake. They got it wrong. Now they've learned. And as I said, he that is without sin cast the first stone. Or whoever has never sinned before. None of us can say we've never made a mistake before. But weigh the situation. Watch the person's actions. What is your instinct telling you? Is the person genuinely sorry for their actions or inactions? Only you will know in the situation. And when genuine repentance, genuine apology has been rendered, then it is said that love does not keep wrong, and perfect love casts away. Forgive them and allow them to prove themselves. Allow them the chance to do better. Allow them the chance, if possible, to rewrite their wrong. Because we all of us, need second chance. And without second chances, I don't know how we'll go through life. It's second chances, as I said before, that has gotten some people to where it is they are, that has gotten some people into the relationships that they have, that has given some people their lives, their family that they have, is because they were willing to risk it and give that person another chance to make things right and to make things better. So I want to encourage you and I, when the opportunity comes, let's not be too hard-hearted. Let's be forgiving. Let's be forgiving, because we are all human. It's part of our innate to make mistakes, and allow each and everyone in the room to make mistakes, to learn from it, and to do better. Humanity without empathy and compassion is detrimental on us. Is detrimental on us. For the little life I've lived and what I've been through and I've experienced, it's made me more empathetic towards people and their situations. I've come to understand that everyone is trying this thing called life. We're all trying. And because we are trying, we're not always going to get it right. Like I said, no normal person actually set out to do evil and to just be mean. No, everyone is trying to do the best that they know how. And in those attempts, sometimes they don't even have the resources, they don't have what it takes to do that best that they want to try at. But at least they are trying. So whilst they're trying, let's be patient with them. Whilst they're trying, let's be forgiving. Because today It may be them stepping on your foot. Tomorrow, it might be you stepping on someone else's toe. So, what you're not willing to give somebody, don't expect someone else to give it to you. Second chance. We all need it. Have a great evening, and hopefully, we get to see ourselves right back here, this very platform again next week with myself, Lady Belin, on the Lady Belin Show, finding strength in your story.